ser una zorra?
I'm gonna go with I don't know. I have no.
I can send it to you. It's pretty cool.
Okay, who's it by?
Las Bulples. That was a punk band in the 80s in the
I haven't heard it.
Spanish punk scene, and then Naughty Zombies, which is a punk Deathrock band from the 90s, did a cover on it. And that's the same guitarist that is now in Then Come Silence.
Okay.
So I'll send it to you in a minute. I don't know.
Yeah, they're live streaming now. We should have just had it. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's okay. It's okay. The install, because I'm like, fuck it. I'm installing this Streamlabs shit right now. You know, once upon a... Did your OBS go live? Did you start your OBS is live? Start your... Wow. So are we all having cranky day? Well, I mean, I know I am. Oh, that's like, who the fuck is sending me a message? Malik, I get strange men send me messages. Like,
really? What did they say? Are they nasty?
Hello, mistress in French, which I didn't realize, and then I got naked photos, unasked for, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I didn't catch it, but it was all coming through one person's profile. Most of it was coming through one person's profile. So I just was accepting everything for a while. I just want to see how that went badly. So just in case you're wondering.
Okay, Michelle, so I just sent you the cover too.
Cool.
And also the cover.
Well,
we are?
Okay, so I'm going to log out of YouTube as Obscura Undead, log back in as me so I can get to the chat from there without screwing anything up. Are you fucking kidding me?
What the fuck?
Hold on. Okay, it should be fine now.
All right, is it fine for the rest of us? Are we audible? Audible?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. We are going to find out. We just need to keep talking. It's been 38 minutes that we've been fucking with this.
Whoa! Okay, somebody, Obscura Undead. Apparently I've typed it wrong as undesad.
What?
I type like shit, y'all. My fingers go slower than my brain.
Okay, someone says, okay, I can hear you all now. Okay, so they can hear us. Finally, took me like 5 seconds. I don't know what's up with your OBS, but yes, I am having a grumpy day. Thank you.
Oh, something went honk.
Oh, man. Yeah, Jacques says that he can only hear us on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's a fucking bummer.
Okay, so now somebody can hear Skullgirdle and Malik, but not...
No, they can hear all of us.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so for a while we had Malik quiet, but we couldn't hear you. Okay, so y'all, I have already installed a new software while we were working on this. So
and
we'll be less sad and angry.
Let me try to make it so that like the bottom half of Malik's face doesn't get cut off.
I just realized I can put my Facebook back on because no bongy bongy.
Let me bring this.
My messenger.
Move to top. Nope. Don't look at that. Order. Move to bottom.
Okay, so we may not be able to get Jacques on Zoom. Can you call him on Zoom?
No, because it's your meeting, unfortunately.
Oh fuck.
So in his box, I'm just gonna put our logo. There we go.
Oh, so we're looking at a little That's hilarious. Okay, as long as so we've now got a drag time with Jacques. This is awesome. Okay, so all y'all death rock experts start talking. I'm gonna start drinking.
What?
Yeah, no pressure, Michelle. Thank you. I'm already feeling very odd because it's just
okay. So
the two of us. So okay, let's. Okay, I need a breather.
well, as for death rock, the things that I know that are most basic is that it started in L.A.
Yes.
It's never left Latin America or LA. LA's seen it may have gone stronger and less strong, but it's never left LA. And so seeing things that say death rock revival to me personally, I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's no revival when something never died.
Guys. Yeah. But that's how it is with everything. A lot of people are calling it post-punk revival to some of the bands. So,
Right.
you know, post-punk. It never. I mean, for me, it never end at all. It never died because I've been here, year to year to year to year. So I
Right.
never. There's a lot of bands that come out recently, and
Mm-hmm.
also lots of older bands who are releasing new stuff. You know, so and Deathrock,
Right.
it's it's the same.
I
Well,
always
I
took
think
revival to
like
mean revival of interest, not like actual revival of the genre. So.
oh, that's what I think of as waves, though, when we call stuff waves. But
Mhm.
still, there are places where there are no waves. There are just Mexico has no waves because they have gone hard the whole time, and I think that's the same for most of Latin America, most of everything south of the U.S. Right? I think, but I feel like from an uneducated view, because I am the uneducated one, that when I hear goth music from pretty much south of, we'll go Texas. I think that's Brownsville's the southernmost part of the U.S. It has a little bit more of a death rock feel to it most of the time. Obviously, not always because that would be weird, but it feels like there's more of that exuberance and boisterousness. So, what makes death rock as opposed to punk or post punk or gothic rock?
Wow, that's
If you're listening
there.
to music that sounds
There's
pretty goth and you don't really know that much, what do you look for?
there's a lot to say on that
Like,
subject
I
because
listen for the guitar and the distortion.
yeah, but then again you have um bands like 13 Chimes, and they have you know a different distortion to it. So or for example the horrors or
Mhm.
Scarlet Remains, they have different distortion than most of death rock bands that you hear.
Well,
So
I hear
it's
twang,
hard.
but Jacques says 50% punk, 50% goth. So I said, what is goth? So we'll find out what goth is because goth is such a large genre to say what's goth that we all think something different, but we can all think something a little bit different and still kind of agree on a lot. For me, death rock, when I hear it, it sounds like it has twang and a sense of humor. There's a twang
Yeah.
you don't always hear in everything else, but the sense of humor is
Oh yeah, there's a lot of camp and death rock. I mean,
it doesn't take it so like y'all when you hear a real cheesy gothic rock band, I mean when they're really talking about vampires and the crashing waves on the cliff and these tremendous epic love stories and shit, a lot of times they're taking themselves seriously. But if you heard that out of death rock, could they get through the song without laughing?
no.
So it's
Okay, so
hard to say because
to be specific, it's gothic rock. That's what Jacques says is gothic rock, death rock, and gothic rock. So if you're like me, I personally think that Bauhaus is early. While they have a lot of post punk, I also think they're early gothic rock. If
they're
you want to know how far back it goes for someone like me, because I don't use the word proto.
protocols. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah. It's just dramatizing so your little brain can figure it out.
Right. Oh, should we introduce ourselves?
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
I'm just sitting here like, wait, I'm missing something. So we should introduce ourselves. I assume that most of the chat knows who we are anyway. I am Azzy of Obscura Undead.
You're
Yeah,
DJ.
that's. Oh, I'm a DJ. That's the thing I do.
And a writer and
Yeah.
a reviewer.
Yes.
And a generalized lover of goth music genres. Like
Yeah.
all of them.
Yes. Thank you, Michelle.
Also a DJ. I'm Malik from Orlando. I work with Obscura Undead, and I collaborate with Skullgirl, as you can see.
Right, a DJ from Orlando. Actually,
Yeah.
your DJ specialization is Deathrock, right?
Yes, Deathrock, post-punk, and gothic rock, basically.
Azzy, what are yours?
Deathrock, goth, post-punk, and darkwave.
Okay. I am not a DJ. I got a YouTube channel, and I like the goth genre. Specifically, my favorite is gothic rock. But I really don't turn up my nose at any genre. But I guess my credibility is that I'm old, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so
Hey, there you go.
I have written some reviews. Reviews are not my favorite. I wish they were because I could write a ton, but I've written some reviews, etc., whatever. And interviewed some people who are pretty fucking cool because I wasn't seeing it anywhere else. Okay, so Jacques says, Jacques a Virgin in Veil. Jacques Staff is a Virgin in Veil and Masquerade and
Yeah.
I want to say Roses in Winter.
Wild Roses of Winter.
Damn it, Wild Roses of Winter. And
Secular Plague.
I was going to say Subculture.
Sleeping Children.
Sleeping Children, yeah.
Sleeping Children, right. So quite a few things. Some of those projects you could call them simultaneous. They're not necessarily, it's not like from 8 until 10 in the morning, I write songs for this one. From 10 until 11:30, I write songs for this one. It's just kind of that they're not defunct. They're not necessarily all active at the same time, but they're not all inactive either. And I want to say that Jacques' pronoun is he. And I noticed something on the Virgin and Veil website today because I felt like I needed to know something about Deathrock. I mean, I know something. I just don't know. I don't feel like I know very much. And there's a logo at the bottom that says "Eat pussy, not animals."
Yeah.
Well stated.
I'm behind that.
I feel like, Jacques, if you spread that more, that you could actually have more people interested in veganism. Rather than the vegans I've known, they're like, I don't need anything with a face. To which I usually am like, do you know where the carrot or potato's face is? Well, you know, y'all, there are people who eat vegan because they eat vegan, they don't want to eat animals, etc. That's great. There are people who feel superior for doing that same thing. Those are the people that make the rest of us crazy and they scare people away. But I think eat pussy, not animals. I think that's a great way to get converts.
Yeah.
Seems like a good compromise.
To get the message, out there.
Right.
It's good. It's very clever.
It is a little animal protein.
Yeah, I don't like that when someone imposes, like we were talking about preaching last time, like when someone's preaching, but if you can subtly send a message, that's great.
I mean, especially doing it with humor, and that's very Deathrock.
I mean, yeah.
It is, but that actually leads me to a question I have is, I know that there's a lot of veganism in the goth world and a lot of people who call eating vegan a plant-based diet. And I think we've proved that a plant-based diet is better for the earth for the most part. But is it as common in Deathrock as it is in the rest of the goth genre? Or is it more
they're not separated, yeah.
I
mean, Deathrock is not separated from the whole umbrella of goth for me. Like you can still call yourself a gothic,
Also, I feel like
be a Deathrocker.
I also
Right.
feel like I can't answer that question because I've never run the numbers. But I do know that my friends who are more into Deathrock and who are in Deathrock bands tend to be more aware, like eco-conscious and politically conscious than I would say necessarily the average goth is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't have as no, that's not true. I got one fucking goth friend in Denton, one live in-person goth friend. I'll be damned if he's not in a death rock band. Thinking about it now, I was like, oh shit. And he is pretty politically aware, but it's not as biting, I guess, as some are. I mean, I don't think I've ever met somebody into death rock that didn't know something about politics, current events, and that kind of shit. I've definitely met goths that I thought lived in a cave.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's common.
Well,
It's common.
It's very common.
Thing. Sorry, go on.
Right, and Glasswing Angel just says taking less meat products, and you're helping. Yeah, you can also be more conscious with what you do consume and make sure it's better for the earth. Check for ethical. You can actually find a lot of stuff ethically, but you're going to have to do the research. Flexitarian. I do it for the environment as I'm concerned about emissions from my carbon footprint. But yeah, we don't appreciate when people get preachy. I haven't noticed a lot of, well, I don't know. You guys talk. Preachy. I like preachy. You feel like Death Rock's preachy. It doesn't feel preachy when it's funny.
Where? Who said that?
Doesn't feel preachy when it's funny.
No, but who said it's preachy? I didn't.
Oh no, everybody pretty much is agreeing that veganism is great and eating more plant-based, less protein, animal-based is great, except for when people preach at you because they feel superior. Because
okay. Oh yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I respect it. Everybody's decision on that. I don't do it. I eat a lot of vegan stuff sometimes or whatever I want. But I respect that people, have the right to advocate for whatever they believe in, and that's good. But yeah, it's a very common thing among death rockers. They're more. You have more vegan death rockers than So.
Well, do you think it's because politically and environmentally? Death rockers, because they're pretty much with that punk attitude. Let me take this buzzing thing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. With that punk attitude, they feel more like we're all actually responsible for our lives and the lives of everyone around us. Because punks, even a very unpleasant punk, I'm not talking hardcore. I'm not talking about the skinhead hardcores, but some punks can be unpleasant. Everybody's can be unpleasant, y'all. But this is specific to death rock. And punks, even unpleasant punks, they'll understand their politics and why they feel that way. That's very important to understand that, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And they're willing to stand up for their rights and your rights, and they're extremely politically aware. Even if they're like, fuck it, they're so politically aware they don't vote. I mean, because you see that periodically when people are really politically aware, they're like, doesn't matter, I'm not going to vote, I'm going to do this thing. So I would think if death rock has such a heavy basis in punk and is still related to punk, I think you can hear it.
Yes.
That's got to come
very,
out.
Very, very related to punk. Yes. You gotta have that punk. Not only the attitude, but also like even the riff, like the guitar riff, sometimes are very punk-ish. In the style, although we take from here and there, so we also will have like post-punk riffs or something like that, but the guitar will sound like very enthusiastic and that's also very spooky, like I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I think in death rock it's more common to find a lot of just experimentation with weird sounds. as opposed to goth rock, where
Yeah.
it tends to
That
be
they
like
just throw in, like, you might hear a drop whistle. You might hear just any fucking thing.
I can think of a Pink Panther cover that
Oh
has
yeah.
what sounds like a slide whistle and a theremin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's called the Black Panther or
It's called
something like
Black
that.
Panther, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
funny. It's
introduced that
it.
song to me. It's
Oh, did I?
ridiculous.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, pretty cool. Um, yeah, I mean, the sense of humor gotta be there, in in a sense, because I don't want to call it like they're comedians because they're not. I don't want to say that. That will be like extreme
I mean,
Well,
to a certain point.
do you think that the innocence feeds that enthusiasm? That because I mean they're just crashing out chords and stuff. I know there's more to it than I am. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
But do you think that that exuberance is fueled by innocence? Like that feel innocence? I mean that people who still think they can change the world before they're like, well, you can't change it. You can't beat them. You might as well join them because they're not joining them.
so a
Mhm.
sense of idealism, you mean?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely say so because you listen to uh like Cierne or shit, is it the Creeping Horrors? Not the Creeping Terrors? Is it horrors or terrors, Malik?
Terrors.
Thank
I thought
you.
it was
I'm
Creeping
thinking of the
terrors.
dirty horror. The Creeping Terrors. You look at like their liner notes and their notes on Bandcamp, and it is very like idealistic, like our message, we want to transcend like language and country barriers and boundaries and that sort of thing, and just like this social awareness that is evident just in the way they talk about their music.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I've at least in the death rock I've been listening to that's been coming out lately, it's less camp and less humor, and more of that like social activism and idealism and desire to see a better world and like
Right.
very
Right.
political in that sense.
Well, and Jacques is agreeing with the exuberance and the enthusiasm that you guys are talking about.
Hmm. Um.
Well, I have the chat. Yeah, we have Jacques on chat because we have sound issues. We have an unfortunate video issues. We are a land of issues. We will eventually find a software we can settle on and get this to work so everybody can talk and look pretty and be heard.
Uh.
Yeah, he said
So.
that there's totally that idealism. That's absolutely there. It feels like an element because there's and this just sounds weird to say about a goth genre, and but I mean it. There's a joyfulness to it. It's just
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you feel like you can rule the world. That's what it feels like to see a death rock band play. For me personally, when I've seen death rock play, which I have.
Yeah. Also, when you do political criticism, and it came out the way you wanted, even
Hmm.
the artists feel the joy to sing it every single time because
Right, right.
it's something that means a lot to them. I'm not saying that none of the other artists feel the same way about their songs, because as a songwriter, and and I feel that they are like children's. So
Right.
when you write a song, is something important for you. I'm not saying that the other artists are not like that, but what I'm saying is that when you find something that is very um um what's the word, like very from you, like something that you want to put out there, and you actually do it by writing a song or a poem or
Uh-huh.
something like that. If it however it comes, every time you're gonna feel very, very proud of that, because that's something that that you created,
Right.
and you're putting it out there for the people to hear, and probably relate with you, and call for the cause or stuff like that, or get involved in activism and stuff like that. So that's something that we all need to think about every single time. In Spanish death rock, there's a lot of mockery too.
Mm-hmm.
I have bands like, for example, um Ejaculación Postmortem. They do a lot of uh, mockery to uh, Christianity, to say,
Right.
So
Well,
there's a
do
lot
you
of
think
that too. Like,
do you think it's more of an extroverted feel than other types of goth genre? And also, Jacques is saying it's your way of expressing your feelings turned to musical notes.
I would say that, yeah, it totally is more of an extroverted feel because, like, one of the big hallmarks of goth and post punk, right, is that it's very introverted as opposed to
Mhm.
punk, which was very extroverted in its message, and death rock carries over that, like, punk messaging. So, yeah, absolutely.
hmm
Well, are there people out there who think that death rock and goth music, just goth music and death rock, are completely different and unrelated?
what was that?
Are there people who think that goth death rock is completely unrelated from the rest of goth music?
I mean, personally, I don't think so. I think they're like
Okay, I don't
sisters.
wanna.
I mean,
I
they're
don't.
they're
Oh
enough
shit.
distinctiveness,
I
but there's so
I think
much
all the yeah.
I'm
pull
sorry, but
that.
they're wrong for me to say
Well, I think
something.
they're all like siblings. I think they're all siblings in the same family, personally. But I've heard people say that death rock is not goth.
What?
I,
Have
I've heard that
you?
argument before, and like the argument is, oh, death rock is an offshoot of punk and industrial, or what?
Industrial? Are
Because
you fucking
of
kidding
Roz
me?
Williams' involvement in
Oh yeah, and the other
industrial.
projects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Well, Roz Williams' influence cannot be overestimated. I don't think it's possible to overestimate that influence. That's stretching it.
right. Well, um, I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh, like death rock being completely separate. To say that it's completely separate also sort of belies the fact that there is a lot of just mixing in terms of like borrowing sounds and themes. But then again, I've heard people call death rock like psychobilly,
Oh God.
and that's
All
really
the Billies
wrong.
come in. All the Billies come in, don't they?
I've
They're
heard,
like
well, I mean, I've
some
heard death rock that pulls from like psychobilly or
Yes.
like that, like
Or you
totally.
can make a song, that have like psychobilly guitars or something like that, and doesn't make you a psychobilly band. You know.
I, I
I
kind
don't
of,
know.
what is psychobilly for someone like me who when I hear a lot of this twang and stuff, it doesn't sound the same. I'm not saying it sounds the same, but knowing what the difference is between when you're looking at death rock and
It's
you're looking at
it's
psychobilly,
like
it's like
take
it's
crazy
take the
like
looks
rockabilly.
out of it.
it's like it's I really meant gothabilly, because that was the word they used back
Well,
then.
Yeah,
gothabilly is just the same thing.
But yes, but psychobilly is a mix of psychedelic rock with rockabilly, basically. It's
okay,
all.
so I mean
It's
the
very
obvious thing.
fast.
Well, the obvious thing is
Yeah,
how the
yeah,
band
that's
looks. Look at the band. Look at the fucking band. If
Oh
you're
yeah, they're
looking
like
at
zombie 1950s. Like they're zombie teddy boys.
greasers
Come on.
yeah.
and pinup girls, greasers and pinup girls is going to have a Billy on the end of it.
Or teddy boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're looking at Death Hawks and your clothing is shredded, you're probably looking at Death Rock.
Well, one of the things that I consider a big tell in death rock is the vocal style. Simply
Yeah.
because it's I don't know how to characterize it. It's just a weirdness that sometimes when a death rock band doesn't have that, I'm like, oh, this is a little strange. Like when I first listened to Detoxy. But then like other times I'll be listening to something and I'm just like, why does this have Deathrock vocals over like metal riffs?
And guitar. And the guitar is different from the Billies. I'm just going to call them the Billies, y'all, because it's like I know it when I hear it, but if somebody asks me to describe the difference between death rock and rockabilly, gothabilly, horror punk is where I really get fucked up. I cannot figure that shit
Well,
out.
if you're using a stand-up bass,
it's just
you might be listening to like psychobilly.
Yeah, that seems obvious. Distortion or chorus on the guitar is a telltale for the
Death Rock.
Death rock. Yeah, I'm reading
Yes.
what
Yeah,
Chuck says.
I usually listen to for
Yes,
the
yes.
distortion. Yeah.
Yes, the distortion is very important. The chorus pedal is very important, and some of the vocalists also use a lot of reverb.
Okay, we're going to need an example for those of us who are ignorant about the Death Rocks. What is a chorus pedal?
Oh, what is a chorus pedal?
What band? Name a band that uses it.
I'm not a guitarist. Oh, okay.
Name a band that uses a chorus
like,
pedal.
Does the Cramps
on the
use
guitar.
it, or do 45 Grave or Cinema Strange? Do any of those bands use it?
I believe Cinema Strange does it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting for Jacques. Jacques typing something. Jacques knows all this stuff. But we've got the drag time of the chat because we of course we're just a technical difficulty. We should start calling this a technical difficulty show.
Los Carniceros del Norte also.
Romeo's Distress. Christian Death, Romeo's Distress uses the guitar style that Jacques is talking about. I mean, that's like, if you're going to know anything Christian Death at all, that's going to be the one song. I mean, Spiritual Cramp would be the second song you'd know.
Cruz de Navajas. Yes, kind of. Yeah. Cruz de Navajas will fill the bill. Yeah.
Cruz de Navaja.
Yeah.
Cruz de Navajas. I will never be able to unhear that.
Is it Nevaja?
Navajas.
Okay, I wrote it down in the chat so people could see that. I have that one. That's a really fucking fantastic album. That's what I said, y'all. I just listen to music that I think is good, and I know when I'm listening to classic sounding gothic rock or classic sounding dark wave, but it's all kind of a blend. And Cruz de Navajas, I don't think about it. I just think, oh, I like this band. I will listen to them today. But it helps with the genre because it helps people find something similar to what they like. While I'm not a big fan of just copycat bands, some classification is necessary so that we know what we're looking for.
Well, call me crazy though, but I think that as a genre, death rock is more diverse sounding than goth rock is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can have like a death rock band that is very horror punk, that is very psychobilly, that is very goth, that is industrial, that is electro, and it's still death rock.
Yes, you can do that too.
Well, and with gothic rock, people start to think if you have a little bit too much metal, they can't figure out that it's still goth rock because it's mostly goth, but you have that one shred in that one song. Gothic rock tends to get discounted quickly. My screen is flashing green.
It is. I know. I see that. It's been doing that. Well, maybe it's more loud in death rock because death rock is more playful.
Well, maybe death rock, they just have less. I don't want to say less fear because there's always bands that are very experimental, but I think that sometimes with gothic rock and unfortunately lately post-punk, they're boxing themselves in with some elements that they think have to be there.
Oh, like the same post-punk guitar in every single song that sounds exactly the same, and it's the same riff, and it's the same progression, and it's just the same guitar. You may as well just take the sample and put it in every single fucking song.
Do you think that death rock, because of that punk attitude of fuck you, is like, yeah, we're just going to play whatever we want. It's going to sound good or it won't?
Well, I think that that's also like I think that's again going back to like that sort of punk attitude of like the whole like DIY attitude. You don't know how to do it? Who cares? If it's interesting, fucking do it. If you want to express yourself that way. Someone says William Faith and Bellwether Syndicate used to be in Christian Death.
Yeah, William Faith was in the mid-90s. I just researched
on,
it.
on Cleo's Christian Death featuring Ross Williams and Shadow
Yes.
Project 1334.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are
And,
true.
All news. Thank you.
Yeah. Big and
You're so rude. I love it.
Sorry. I apologize.
well, and you know what? He's kind of to me, he's, because everybody knows who he is, so he's a good example for those of us who are ignorant, because he will try stuff that you're like, wow, you really put that in that song, and then it works, and you're like, what the fuck? There's some stuff in the Bellwether Syndicate that I'm like, did you seriously just put that in a goth-related genre album? And why does it sound so great like that? But I think that's some of the better sounding Christian Death to me personally, because I don't like only Theater of Pain, and that's why I need to shut up.
Hey, that's fine. So here's a good confession. First time I listened to Christian Death, hated it.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
I was overexposed, y'all. Like The Cure when I was young. It was, everybody's like, Christian Death, Christian Death, Christian Death, Christian Death, Christian Death, Christian Death. In the mid to late 80s, oh my God. And in the early 90s, oh, just nonstop. And I was like, fuck that shit. So now I'm going back and rediscovering a little bit.
I used to also really dislike Deathrock because it was too punk for me up until about 6 or 7 years ago when I found Los Carniceros del Norte, and then I just was just like, I need everything and more.
Funny thing, it was Cinema Strange for me that got me. I was like, oh, what is this? This is different. This sounds so goth, but it doesn't sound so much like the other goth. And I love Cinema Strange. I love 45 Grave because they're fucking hilarious. But I've liked the Cramps since the first time I heard them. I don't know if they're actually.
Yeah, Jacques says it's not a very accessible genre. This is very true.
What?
It's not accessible to everybody. It doesn't.
Deathrock isn't a very accessible genre.
It's
Isn't
not
or
highly,
is not.
To your
it's
average
not.
Joe.
That's right. That's right.
Think of it to your Homer Simpson, because it's not smoothed out. It doesn't have some of those same kind of sounds that everybody wants to hear in every fucking song they ever fucking heard, and it's very in your face. And things that are in your face scare the establishment. Always have, always will.
I have this whole style of death rock that I love, and I call it carnival death rock just because of the way it sounds.
Oh my God, like Fear Incorporated? They're not necessarily death rock, they're more experimental, but they have a carnival sound.
I was thinking more like Castrati and Cinema Strange and
I love Castrati.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And Dechowski and like the kind of like vibe that gives you kind of like the fucking, what's that, like
Organ grinder?
Yeah. Like kind of like vibe.
Like you're on a calliope.
Yes, a calliope. Yes. Like
yeah.
I mean, and Castrati has a song called High on a Merry-Go-Round, and I'm just like, that is everything I want and more.
Yes.
That would be a lot of fun to be high on a merry-go-round.
Play Dead. That's a song by Masquerade.
Play Dead is also a 5-issue zine from 2005 to 2007.
Ooh.
Oh, if Nagaroth Witch says sex gang
right?
children. Sex gang, and then I have children on my stomach, but yeah.
Okay, so Play Dead is by Masquerade.
We don't care about your shirt.
Play Dead is by Masquerade. How very death rock right there. Isn't Masquerade one of Jacques' bands?
Very punk. Yes?
Yeah.
Did I not remember that correctly?
You remembered that exactly correctly.
No. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I pay attention to some shit. I just don't. I'm ignorant as fuck. And
Ignorant?
I have seen a band that called itself Christian Death, but it was 3 years ago.
Was it actually Christian Death?
That was the title on the playbill.
What?
3 years ago, traveling with the Lords of Acid, which people are like, they're edge lords, and I'm like, not 1987. They were different in 1987. They were like, ooh. But yeah, Christian Death played with them, a band calling themselves Christian Death at that time. I'm telling you, 3 years ago.
No idea. I had no idea what you're talking about, because I remember only Christian Death when Ross was alive. But then,
Right, right, right.
nah, I don't know what happened to that band. But not to hate,
I think they broke
though.
up.
No, that's my point. That's yeah. There's two camps. Do we have anyone in our chat who's on the Valor, whatever you fucking say his name, camp? Is there anyone in there? Because that's fine.
Yeah,
We can
that's fine.
also-
That's fine. We all love you.
We all have
We will
personal
not-
preferences.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, I am not a huge fan of that band at all. There are other death rock bands that I love and adore and would like to wrap myself up in, but that is not one of them for me.
Yeah.
They're so incredibly important in those early 3 albums.
You know, it's a big influence that I'm noticing a lot now in like death rock in the
Yes.
last 2 years. I'm noticing a lot of Riot Girl influences.
Yes. Women.
Yes,
Yes.
specifically women. Like they're not forming like the pretty like dark
no,
wave
it's-
bands or goth rock bands.
Oh,
We're getting a
no,
lot of
no,
really
not
like
at all.
hard hitting like fuck you like
Right,
Riot Girl
Ötzi,
death rock bands.
Ötzi,
Ötzi?
Ötzi.
I say
that's-
Ötzi. I don't know if that's right.
Hey, Shaker asked a very good question. I don't want to answer to that, but that's
Oh,
good.
was it a Christian death rock band? It was a band that had somebody by the name of Valor fronting it that called itself Christian Death.
Yeah.
It was a show that had 2 completely different styles of music within the same band. I don't even know how many people were there. I was
Yeah.
just like, okay, standing on the stage. That sounded very disparate. And the one song that I thought came across okay was Romeo's Distress. So there was some Christian death on the stage.
Oh, so they did a cover? They did a cover?
Ooh, let's not get into Christian death covers.
All right. So,
Okay.
no, okay. Yes. They. How can I say this? Because it's hard to say they were death rock. I mean, you can, of course, you can say that. But for me, they were the pioneers of the death rock sound, and I don't wanna say they are death were death rock band, because Ross will be kind of against that. But yeah, but pretty much a lot of the
Right.
death rockers took a lot from Christian death. For instance, there's a band called Virgin in Bell. They kind of pretty like that too. That
You ass.
what?
Oh my god.
It's a good thing I can't see. I can't see Jax
No,
right
that
now.
was
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Right, he's probably flipping you off 7 ways to
I
Sunday.
know. It's like fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you. All right.
But yeah, if you want to listen to some death rock and you're like, I fucking hate Christian death, there's so much other stuff out there. They also have 40
Yes.
years of history, just like all the rest of the goth genre.
And from
because
around the fucking world.
oh my god, y'all. Listen, if you're only listening to goth music within your area, if you're only listening to or with the US, England, or Germany, you are fucking missing out. Because the entirety of Latin America is fucking kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, there's so much good music. What is that band? La Reinas de Condonados? Condonados?
You see, that's why I don't like people laughing at me at my English. You see?
I never laugh at your English.
No,
I love that band.
no. I'm saying for something else that happened in the scene. La Reina de los Condenados. La Reina de los Condenados. Yes, very good band. I
Who
like
did
it.
an excellent cover of Christian death.
Oh yeah, and it's in Spanish.
Mhm.
You want to hear Christian death
are-
in Spanish? I mean, not Christian death, but you want to hear a cover? I'm sorry, I blaspheme. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna kneel to my picture of Ross in a few
You're
seconds.
gonna have to do some penance. You're
Ask
gonna
for
have to flog
forgiveness.
yourself.
I'm gonna
Someone
ask
But
for
in
yeah,
the
forgiveness.
chat says
but yeah,
Deathrock is dying.
Deathrock is flourishing and
Deathrock
growing
is
right now.
flourishing, and there are
Yeah,
more
I
I
urge you
bands
to
mean,
listen
every
to
day.
I mean,
La Reina de los
baby,
Condenados. Sorry,
I'm
it's
gonna say
the best
this. I'm
things
gonna
I've heard
say
in
this.
years.
Deathrock, it's undead. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
you're
That's true.
you're coming, whatever.
Right. You know, the whole goth genre may die one day, but we're just undead. We just kind of go quiet for a while and then we come back.
Yep, that's it.
Well, like, okay, so we were talking about like Deathrock Revival, which was that was like
Oh,
what
thank
early
you.
2010s and stuff like that. That kind of I felt petered out really fast. Like we got some really good bands out of it, but it didn't stick. And I'm not really sure why. I wasn't super involved at that time, but
When? What years? Mid 2000s?
late 2000s, early 2010s.
Oh yeah, that so-called revival in Germany.
And in the
It,
US a
I,
little bit too.
no,
But
just correct me because I don't know what I'm talking about.
yes, and in the US and just in general, like I
Yeah.
feel that it kind of like had a drop off and a lull, but now we're getting something really strong with Deathrock again and a lot of
Because
interest in
people,
it.
do you think that people are being more interested in Death Rock? First of all, because it's raw and there's a lot of fucking discontent right now. I don't know about
I
y'all,
think so,
but
and
I
I think
am
that's why when you look at
discontent.
like a lot of the new death rock bands, it tends to be younger people as opposed to like new goth bands. It
Badass.
tends to be a bunch of like old men.
But that's badass. We've got both ends of the spectrum. It doesn't get much better than having that new young blood getting out there and getting their shit heard,
And
and then
getting
the old people
angry.
getting angry, and then the old people still kind of showing you, like, when you're getting to those years, that you can still make good music. Most of it's good. You know, there's a lot of good music out there. I mean, we all know
It's
there's some shit, but do you think that it's kind of in reaction to the post punk kind of starting to box itself in as a specific genre?
No,
why no,
Okay,
never.
no,
Again.
no.
fair, good.
Jacques says that he thinks that death rock was much more thriving in the 2000s. I have no comment on that.
On the much thrive, yeah, there were, I mean, cinema strange is from that era.
Yeah, Tragic Black,
Um, yeah, Tragic Black,
who we
yeah,
love.
yeah.
Y'all think with Death Rock, do you think that
um,
because it's not as mainstream marketable, it still has a chance to keep its integrity
Oh
more
yeah,
than the other genre?
absolutely. I don't think death rock ever stands a chance of becoming mainstream marketable simply because of how weird it is.
Yeah, to me, that's the thing I look for.
I mean, the only way that it would
and
be able to become mainstream marketable is if someone gloms onto it and tries to sell the fashion and drags the music along with it, like what you know. So
whenever they start doing that, I'm gonna stop my support. I don't care.
of the genre
I
in
don't care.
general or a specific
No, no, no,
band.
no, no. Or the band. Whoever
Yeah.
start doing that, like being in the mainstream and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
then I will cut my support right then and there.
I
Fuck
have
you.
mixed feelings on that. If it's if a band gets like really popular like that because they are
That's
uncompromising
not
for who they are,
mainstream. That's not mainstream. I mean, Cinema Strange is very popular among a lot of people, and it's not mainstream. So don't let us not confuse
Are
that.
are are you
okay.
talking about as a kind of like not a death rock band? Okay, I'll please. I know it's not death rock, but like Dread Majesty.
Yes,
Are you talking about
not.
how they're getting more? I know. I personally, I
Or
like what they're
Molchat
putting out now.
Doma.
Oh, they seem to be the band that everybody's latching onto. The young people are latching onto that band. They're
Yeah,
good.
my husband was
Good.
just like, I saw Molchat Doma on Black People Twitter, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Mm, okay.
Okay, I see somebody says the death rock bands dropped the punk sound and focused on electronic elements and post-punk sound. Post-punk, on the other hand, has an unbeatable present. I think they mean presence. I'm I I feel like maybe there is a little bit of electronic in death. Maybe I'm listening to the wrong death rock. Because when it comes to death rock, for me personally, you can't beat Spanish or some of the
Filosofía
crazy
para
stuff out
todo,
there.
you're wrong. Thank you.
Um,
I'm,
Just
well,
saying.
talking
but there's, I
about
don't, hmm,
a
hmm.
death
But
rock.
there's nothing wrong to be wrong.
Well, I'm thinking of like
I'm trying to think of the electronic stuff that you're talking about. Can you name a band? That would be helpful. Nox Novacula is not death rock, is what they're saying.
Yes, then they're wrong. Because they incorporate a lot of sounds into them, and they call it gothic rock,
Right.
but pretty much everything that, like the cold wave, the drug sounds, the drug
Well,
I don't want to say
is like
album, it's a single. um it was very cold wave, and it doesn't, like, you don't miss the point, so
Well, but there's bands like electronic. Jacques was just saying that there's a lot that are using electronic and they're using
yeah,
drum machines.
that's what
So
I'm
a band
saying.
that I know for sure uses a drum machine is Jesus Crisis. They use a drum machine, but their main instruments are, I forget what all they record, are guitar and violin. So they've got some weird shit going on there, but when you listen to them, the vocals definitely sound death rock to me. I think they sound death rock, but they sound a little bit different. Again, Michelle's uneducated, we know that. But they're using electronic, but it doesn't sound electronic. It's not like you're hearing Gary Newman's cars or you know maybe my ideas of electronic are different because back when I was a kid, drum machines absolutely sounded like drum machines. You didn't now sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah, like for example, I'm gonna drop this out there for the people that are using drum machines and stuff like that. And um, Los Carniceros del Norte, they never had a drum player. So if you wanna if you ever wonder how a very good um drum beat sounds like, go and listen to Los Carniceros del Norte, and then you will see, because they don't have it's all FL Studio, well, except for one album, but that's let's not get into that. But
Well,
anyway, so the point is, they don't have a drummer. That's
when
it.
your very important instruments are the vocal style, the guitar, and the distortion on the guitar, then having electronic drums, especially if they're made to sound like actual physical drums, I don't really see that as a problem. I don't see that as a detriment at all.
No, like, for example, I keep giving example to people,
That's
but
good.
you can check them out. Pretty cool. You can check them out. Skeletal bats. They use um synth drums, or machine, or
Well,
drum
I
machine,
think
or whatever, and
I
it
think one of the things
sounds good.
about all of goth genre is mixing some of those more traditional rock instruments
Oh
or
no,
and punk instruments with other
skeletal,
shit.
skeletal,
What did I put?
Skeleton.
Oh, it's
skeletal
skeletal. Okay, if you're typing in, that's cool. Sorry, y'all.
bats.
Like I said, I know who that is. Y'all are just making me want to collect a little bit more death rock.
Go dig through our Bandcamp collections.
Ooh,
Oh, I need to. I haven't done that in a while.
don't do that.
Yeah,
I want to
'cause I
see your
tried to.
name pop up on
I'm
everything
kidding.
we've
I
purchased.
Oh, you need a
oh
you want a
we
booyakasha? Because I get
like
like two or three booyakashas a week at this
like
point.
like a secret admired.
Like our secret admirer, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, sometimes people do that, and they don't tell you they do that, and I mean, I get to notice that we buy the same thing, and it's weird because it's Assy, me, and that person, and we're like, who
And
told them about this?
every
You
time you
know?
get to the release when it's new, it's you three every time. Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
but they're learning. They're learning.
well, okay. So, what is the difference between the death rock? I don't want to say communities, but the death rock scenes. Like, what's different about LA? That's different about I just assume there's one in London because they have goth, but like France, we know there's a huge France one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe there might be a little something in Finland. In Russia seems to be, they're just exploding with goth shit all over the place now. So what's the difference in the different scenes? And
I
I
don't know.
mean, is there a sound? Is there a sound difference?
Well, I feel
Because
as though if you look at like South American death rock, it's different. Like I hear like a lot more punk
oh yeah,
in South American death rock. Unless you're talking about like Peru, then I hear a lot of like darkwave influence.
yeah, but Chilean death rock, it has a heavy punk influence from everything I've heard.
Yeah, and then like France has all of that carnival death rock I was talking about.
Moulin Rouge death rock.
Okay, so then that brings up the UK and whether or not you want to separate death rock from Batcave, if you want to like be pedantic about it. Which some people like say that like the Batcave bands like Specimen and Sex Gang Children, that those are death rock. Some people say that those are better classified as Batcave because Batcave happened separately from death rock, right?
Yeah, but those bands have a little bit more, instead of being like a gothic rock kind of sound, like a rock and roll sound mixed with punk, what they have is a glam rock sound mixed with punk, and they look like glam rock in black with teased hair. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't love that look, because I fucking love that look. I love the look of all God's genre. I don't care what it is. I think it's all great. But I think that with Specimen and with Sex Gang Children, if you go back and listen to like the New York Dolls, they have such a heavy punk sound without actually being punk, it's just separate, because that Batcave sound has so much more glam rock in it, and I think the LA sound has so much more punk. And because of the US old school rock and roll, you've got that kind of influence coming in too. Not Elvis, the people that Elvis stole from.
What was that
Like
show?
Maybelline.
What was that show on cable? That had a lot of LA punk bands like back in the 80s, and the guy who ran the show got like murdered and they never solved his death.
Shit, I don't
New
know.
Wave Theater.
That? Really? We should all be watching that shit.
There's a lot of really cool like punk shit on that. Like from like
Okay,
that time. Like
well, Jacques says that he wouldn't say that death rock and the early post-punk are similar, but they are somehow linked by attitude. The glam rock influence is the difference with the Batcave stuff. But it's weird to be called. It's weird to be called Batcave. I mean, there was a lot of really fucking great music there. But as an old person, I personally resent anything that calls me or says it is trad goth.
well,
What the fuck is that?
see, I like drawing a difference between Batcave and death rock simply because like to not like say that there's a difference belies like the actual historical development and influential development of the two, and it kind of washes out like their uniqueness,
Right. And I mean, both of those genre made so much of what goth is today, y'all. And we have several different genre of what makes goth music, and they both have a different kind of influence, and they come from a different place. And death rock honestly sounds to me, from again the outside, a lot of it sounds more true to its roots. It's like somehow this whole genre of music has spent 40 years with all this innovation and all this new shit and using new types of equipment and all that kind of stuff, and still you're like, that's fucking death rock.
Thank you. I like what you just said.
Oh, well, you're welcome. It's just, you know how I am. It's just what I think. Russian or Serbian bands, or Belarusian. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm just kidding. Some definitions evolve with time as well, is what Jacques says, and I think that's correct as well, because the Batcave goths at the time, they didn't know they were going to be fucking called Batcave goths. They may have been called Batcavers because they spent so much time there. But it's kind of like the New Romantics. They didn't call themselves New Romantics. They called themselves posers. posers, posers, because they were constantly doing something crazy and posing for it. I mean, you don't know while it's happening. We don't know while whatever is happening and whatever is truly innovative now, we don't know what it's going to be called in 10, 20 years.
So don't get offended, people, if I say that word.
There's
I'm just calling you
a new romantic.
New romantic.
Ooh. There is also Novocaine.
Okay, so one question.
There's also Novocaine
for
Mausoleum
me.
from Russia.
What?
Oh, I'm just
very good.
Asked
Very
for...
good. Very good.
Whatever. I'm shutting up. Shut up. Whatever.
No. That's a very good band. Why? Shut up. I'm kidding. No. Do you like the Born Babies? Do I like the Born Babies?
Oh my God, that band is
have you heard of them? Yeah, no, we love
maybe.
Deadborn Babies.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you have a shirt of them?
Oops. Shut up.
Nerd.
Yes, I do. I have the album and the shirt. But.
Right. Genre definitions evolve. You know what? Thanks to you posting that, I did buy the Deadborn Babies, but I bought so much shit during the last Bandcamp thing. I'm still plogging my way through it. I'll get there.
I bought them, and then I thought that their sound sounded completely different, and then I was over at Malik's. I'm just like, the fuck is this? And they're just like Deadborn Babies, and I was like, I thought they sounded different. Why did I think they sounded different? And I owned the fucking album.
Do you ever think to yourself, I am 12 fucking years old because I just get a giggle every time I think of such an offensive fucking name? It makes me happy. It's stupid. What is that? Because I feel Deathrock does not give a shit. They don't give a fucking shit. They're the honey badger of music genre. They're like, fuck you. I don't care. I'm going to say this. It makes me laugh every time. Sorry if you're offended. Look at my nipples through my net shirt.
I would say that yes. Because sometimes you can shock people through, like, offense, but I wouldn't say it's like wearing, like, a swastika on your vest.
No, that's Susie. That's Susie Sue.
Yeah, it's not that kind of shock.
And she wore that to shock. She didn't wear it because she's a fucking
more
Nazi.
Like, hey, let's talk about sex in a really graphic way, because is sex really all that bad?
Oh, speaking about that, let me show you the patch that
I
just
fucking.
got. Yes, speaking about fucking.
Okay.
All right, apparently we're going to get to see, I'm not sure what's coming. Like my double entendre there. It's not subtle.
I don't know, my camera keeps going out of focus.
Yeah, your camera's going out of focus, which is kind of very, I tried to
so I have to get like really close to it.
I tried to watch Shoegaze recently, y'all, and I turned
all right, let's see this patch.
That depresses.
What the shit?
Wait, is that a skeleton strap-on? Because skeletons don't have enough juice to make a cock usually, but...
So cool. I love it.
Is that for your blazer?
Yeah.
Is that gonna go right on the
patch.
On the middle?
Yeah, that's a patch. No, the one the one going in the back is this one.
Aha, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wait.
Azzy, your makeup reminds me of Kiss.
So is this one in the band? The band is called They Feed at Night, in case you want to hear it.
Or go listen to New Skeletal Faces.
Yep. Pretty much. Loco, loquísimo. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I got many.
Everybody loves your patch.
They send me a lot. They send me a lot.
Wow, that's nice. I personally don't wear dicks on my clothes.
I think I'm gonna use this one for my pants. Pants that I'm gonna...
Where are you gonna put it on your butt? Because I
Yes.
Fantastic.
How do you guess?
Well, because I have Cemetery Confessions, I have this skirt, and I don't think I've shrunk quite down enough to get into it, but I have been wanting to put a patch that says Cemetery Confessions right across the ass, because that makes me laugh every time.
Well, it's appropriate.
I see.
Yes,
right. They feel. Oh, that's cute. How
How many
Nosferatu.
patches did they send you?
Like 4. I don't know
Nice.
why.
Do you
And
know them?
2 and no. But I
Just
guess I was the
because
only buyer.
I just got a T-shirt in the mail, and it had 2 patches. And patches are the thing I have the hardest time finding. Like, just so y'all know, I just noticed today I went to Virgin and Vale. Sorry, Jacques, gonna kind of promote you for a sec. I went to Virgin and Vale, y'all. They have a patch. They actually
Oh,
have
they
patches,
do.
and they're not sold out yet. Importantly,
Yeah.
because finding patches to go on your stuff, the bands are starting to figure out we want their patches. But finding patches is tough, and people buy the shit out of them immediately, and you can't get them.
That
So
that sorry.
it's like LPs. LPs and patches are like these little rare birds. It's like a little treasure. I need to put it in my little nest.
Yeah.
Count pants.
The those patch I have the Virgin Veld patch, and a very close friend of mine suggested me to put it in my butt as a joke. But then I said no, I'm gonna use it for a jacket, and yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna put it in my jacket. I'm making a
Yep.
new vest
I don't know. I feel
now.
like ass is prime real estate.
Well, it's a
I
big empty
mean,
space for most stuff. But the thing is
yeah,
that's great is that bands are actually figuring out what we want. And the great that's my favorite thing about current goth genre bands. I don't care what your fucking genre is they actually listen to their fans. We're bitched over and over and over again that we want fucking patches. And then sometimes they put out I think they're giggling when they make some of their merchandise. Honestly, I think some bands are like, ha ha ha, let's see if anybody buys this. And then we buy the shit out of it. But the patches is gratifying because I want to put those patches on every fucking thing. I can't put your big strap on dick patch on very much because
that patch, Rain, you can get it at Bandcamp slash Day Feed at Night. So there you go. If you want to have it,
The
you don't
only
need
thing
to
Malik will ever
because
promo.
you don't need to because then I'll be the only one with it. You know,
I
and I
just told
just
everybody where
happen
to get it.
to like that too.
Strap
But
on army. We'll just make a strap on patch army.
please, and then we'll
Yeah.
fight.
Right, but seriously, y'all, even just a year ago, you could not get patches, and sometimes they cost $7 or $8, and then they cost $7 to $10 to be shipped from Europe. It was insane, and so I have a few very precious patches because I try to go to the band to get that stuff. I try to not buy the stuff that's not licensed unless they're not making it. If they're not
Right.
making it all, like Southern Death Cult, that was one that I couldn't find a patch anywhere except on Etsy. So somewhere,
Yeah.
I don't even know what I fucking did with that. But like contemporary bands, check their sites, ask them if they have a patch. They might actually make a patch. But like I said, I went and checked Virgin and Veil shit today, and I was like, ooh, a patch. But I just got a T-shirt that I ordered in the Bandcamp free for all that I had on the first, and they sent me 2 patches. I almost shit myself.
Nice.
Very excited.
Who sent you the T-shirt? Virginia Bell?
Kentucky Vampires. That one was
Oh,
Kentucky
oh,
Vampires.
okay. Because I keep asking Jack in the, and
They have a bunch of shit on their site.
yeah,
I mean,
but they don't
some
have the shirt, and that's
yeah,
what
it's
I
like
want,
some sold out.
you know. But anyway,
But that sold out shit is what pays for them to make their next fucking album or
yeah.
to go on tour because
Mm-hmm.
as it turns out, going on tour, you don't make any money until the last third of the tour. In the first whole half of the tour and a little bit more, you're still paying for the tour,
Hmm.
which I didn't know. I feel like I'm all smart and shit because I learned something. Oh wait, what did you send me? Malik sent me. Oh, okay, the same shit. My phone keeps
Yeah,
going
that's
off and I can't figure out what it is, y'all. It keeps buzzing, and then I go in there and I have the same shit I had before.
Jacques says,
Okay.
yes, I know we suck with shirts.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. It didn't scroll down for
no,
me.
no, 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 no. He told me that the carrier that they use I don't know, change or something like that, and then he's gonna Susie is gonna get a new one tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah,
And
but
I'm trusting that.
shipping and manufacturing, y'all, for stuff like that that can be sent out. There's got to be some issues going on with that. I mean, the very first of my physical items came from Kentucky Vampires. I live in fucking Texas, and it came from Florida, and it took 2 weeks.
I've been waiting for something to come from Poland for about 2 months now.
That's about right. Well, actually,
God.
Poland, under normal shipping circumstances, and the U.S., our shipping is still faster than it is anywhere else.
Well, the first time they tried to send me something, I got an empty envelope that was ripped open. Then the second time, it basically sat in like international post for about 4 weeks and then got sent back.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, and shipping from the U.S. to certain countries is a complete bitch, and whoever you're shipping it to will never get it.
Yeah.
So like I was gonna say that in the 90s we used to make our own patches. You just buy a black or whatever color preferably black, because it's easier to draw on. So not because of the color at all, because everybody knows I don't care. But you just buy liquid paper and draw it there if you know how to draw, and if not, then get someone who knows how to draw and draw it there.
That doesn't wash out?
No.
That's what people paint their shit with?
Well, we used to. Or you can get acrylic paint.
Acrylic.
White. Yeah,
Right,
that thing. You can get that and you can paint it there. I mean, you could draw whatever
That's
you want.
what Junkyard Bat uses to make our patches.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I went to art school, so that's what everybody used, because you had this white acrylic paint. You didn't use it very often, so you might as well just paint all your shit with it. But that makes sense, because the DIY patch is always cool, and I can't think of any bands that don't get excited if they see a DIY patch with their own name on it. I mean, maybe Sisters of Mercy, but whatever. They're a pop band.
But they're not gothic, of course.
They're a fucking pop band from the 80s. I mean,
yeah.
seriously, think about it.
Yeah.
They may be goth icons or whatever, but they were a pop band. So, but most bands really, they get very excited if you paint your own shit. Now, I can't imagine that'd be too much different for a Deathrock band. I don't know if they're like, oh, we got to get all our merch and da-da-da-da-da. It's one thing to take it to pay for the show. It's another thing to try to make a living off of it. If that makes sense.
I don't get that coming. I have my jacket full of Deathrock gang patches, thrash metal fan style.
I don't know enough about thrash metal fan style to comment on that.
Yeah, all I know is biker and
no idea.
Fest.
But I can tell you though that a lot of death rockers have vests, a lot of vests, and they're whole, patch and with a lot of buttons and stuff like that. So
I just really want a trash vest. That's all I want. It's just covered in like random shit.
You can wear whatever the fuck you want. You put that vest on top of it in your dress, man. If you're wearing a plain black t-shirt, you be wearing a fucking cravat. You put that vest on, and you're totally set. And you usually have pockets.
Pockets.
I can guarantee you have fucking pockets if you put that damn vest on, and you're set. They feel good. I think by the time you put 100 or 200 spikes on that bitch, it feels good. It feels heavy. It gets, the more you work on it, the softer it gets, the more personal it gets. And I've been stopped in the grocery store for people to tell me they like whatever band was on my, we'll call it a battle vest, whatever. I don't know why they're called battle vests, but
I don't know.
I don't care.
I'm
just looking for the square footage.
I have a jacket that I was working on, and now the jacket is too big for me, but it's covered in like just random shit that I find and I attach to it because that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I have a vest I need to tear the patches off of. But somebody's going to go into the thrift store and get something that has one whole back panel on the side of that vest is covered in studs completely. The pockets are covered in beads. There's rhinestones on the neck. I just want my patches and my buttons back, and I just bought a velvet jacket for it. I'm very excited.
I got 2 sizes of button makers now, and I need to make a bunch of buttons. I really just want to make really vulgar buttons. But
describe vulgar.
Huh? Describe vulgar? Oh, just like dicks and tits all day long. No, Do you know what? Well,
Suck
one design that I've been working on that I can't get right because I don't have like illustration skills. I know how to Photoshop and shit. Is I'm trying to make a little Feloy with bat wings.
What's a Feloy?
It's a little penis fairy. And it's a Greek penis fairy. It's literally just like a dick and balls with angel wings.
That's it.
It just flaps around.
That's it.
No, I just haven't heard of that, which is interesting that I haven't heard of that. That's easy to draw. Want me to draw that for you and take a photo?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
How do you spell that?
We can use that.
PHALLOI. Oh, I know that. I think one of the things that like Malik and I first ever talked about long time ago was I have a pin that says "I heart dick."
Yeah.
Good
I love
icebreaker.
that pin. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
You want a statue of a giant dick, pretty much with wings on it?
Yeah, I want a pin with dicks and wings.
Found one. Okay.
Anyway,
I'm just seeing all the phallic statues because there's so many cultures that have huge phallic statues.
Anyway, we should get back on the topic of Deathrock.
Yeah, y'all
Back
talk
to
about
the
Deathrock.
So I don't know, let's talk about like new Deathrock bands. I kind of feel like I'm seeing like a really awesome explosion of like femme-fronted Deathrock bands on the west coast of the US. Like
Hey, that makes me happy as fuck.
yeah, like Mystic Priestess is getting really big.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
I remember the first
Yes.
music video I ever saw and I was just like, holy shit, bitch isn't wearing clothes and I love it.
Yeah.
And they are so good and so angry. And I love that a lot of their like presence and branding, they are very open about being a queer band. And I think that's so cool.
Powerful. They're just powerful and they're not making excuses for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is such a punk ideal. I'm going to be powerful. I'm going to be exactly not so much powerful, but it is powerful, and it's encompassment of this and just being yourself. I mean, like, this is what's here. This is what I am. And fuck you.
The thing is that I know of even another Deathrock band who I'm not going to name because they don't brand themselves as queer anymore or trans anymore, but they used to, but found that they got a lot of like there was something that happened that made them uncomfortable with branding that way, even though they were a Deathrock band and still are a Deathrock band.
Right. Okay, I'm waiting for Jacques has a comment.
Yeah.
But there is
right. But it's almost like, do you feel like it's got that Riot Girl feel, or because isn't Riot Girl its own genre? Isn't that like Bikini Kill?
Yes. I had to think about that for a second. I'm just like,
well, Riot
because
Girl, I don't really know.
Someone we know recently put out a YouTube video on reviewing a Riot Girl book.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Well, Jacques also says check out South America because there is a crap ton of stuff in South America coming out of there right now.
Oh yes.
That makes sense, especially considering the revolution in Chile, which is mostly peaceful from what we've seen in the news. We don't know what happened afterwards, but I think with the time of revolution and things happening like that, recession, massive inflation, all that, it's ripe for not only punk but Deathrock.
Well, I know that one of the most recent bands that I got excited about from South America was Delirium Mask, and I thought it was really cool that they got picked up on Batcave Productions.
Well, do you think that it's not against the Deathrock ideal to be on a label, is it?
It's not
No.
a Deathrock ideal to be on a label.
Is it against a Deathrock ideal to be on a label?
Well,
No, because if it is Batcave, that pass.
If it's a label with a high amount of integrity, also Wicked
If
Sin, I didn't name the band specifically to
if
not name the band, but if it's a label with high integrity.
if it's the other one who has like an S and which I'm not gonna name, that one, I think. And first of all, they're not gonna be interested. So that's better for all of us. Because if that happens, and I don't know, they they
Well,
get it. I'm like, okay, that's it. You know, I
well,
mean,
some labels are really out there hustling, but some labels will have some bands that are a little bit more slick, a little bit
um,
more mainstream palatable. That is not
no,
the label I would want if I were in a death rock band.
Oh
And quite
no, and
honestly,
that's the thing is I feel
if
like
I
a lot of
were,
underground labels
yeah,
that labels that used to be underground are going that route now. And
yeah.
yeah, and
I,
that's the
I am a I'm a big supporter of underground. I like the shit that nobody knows about. I know maybe it makes me fucking pretentious. I do like some stuff that's a little bit more famous, but I also like
Fimpus?
to see bands that I don't feel like they're crammed down my fucking throat every day by every person around me.
Well, I'm one of those crammers, but yeah, I get it. Beth
same.
Yeah,
Razoth says, I think bands usually just use distribution companies more so than labels. I think that's true. There are only
oh
really
yeah.
like that like I can think of two good reasons why a band might want to be on a label. Well, actually three. One is if a label has a really strong like tour and promotion sort of like setup,
Mm-hmm,
which not all of them do. If a label
mm-hmm.
does physical merch and can offer like CDs and LPs for a band that they might not
Yep.
otherwise be able
Seen
to
that.
afford,
Seen that.
and also just like the name attached to a label, which that can be good or bad. But I could see joining a label specifically because of that, because of a
But for
label's
labels,
reach.
yeah, they do. They have but in the US, if a band signs to a US label, are they able to have either a better chance of actually having their visa approved, or do they get to bypass some of those fees because they're working with a US company?
I don't think that makes a fucking difference.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I from like everything that I have read on like the visas, I'm not sure that makes a difference because you basically need to have something that is either culturally significant or you have to be able to prove that you're like a major like international deal. Um,
Right, yeah, and I see bands that actually distribute like Twin Tracks when they did their album, when they did the LP, they distributed through three different places.
yes, because of
So that's
like a
what
lot
Beth
of
Razoth is talking about.
yeah, like a lot of regional distribution just through like
Yeah, but
labels.
they're not death rocks.
No,
So very
they
hard
are
example.
no, they're not Death Rock, but no, they're not even close to Death Rock. But my what I mean is that sometimes a band will work with the label because that label, like for instance, the label may be in the US and they can distribute in the US much more easily than the band can. Because if it gets shipped from inside the US, like bulk to the US, and then I can get the album to me for less than $10 shipping, where it is $19 to get that same LP from Europe, then
Hmm.
I'm far more likely to buy that album. And there are a few bands that I have not bought LPs because they're just so expensive to get them. And we
Right.
all know LPs fucking sell out like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. There are actually a lot of people who collect them, and
Yeah, yeah.
they're not even DJs. They just collect them because they
No,
like
yeah. Yeah,
them.
I have some. And it's because of the listening experience with a vinyl LP is
Oh,
different.
for sure.
For people who listen to albums, I listen to albums. I don't make playlists of songs very much. I have very few Christmas songs, because who gives a shit? We all know them all. But when I want to listen to a band's work, I listen to an album, and then you have one side, and then you carefully flip over the other side. You might be able to read the lyrics when you're listening to it. It's just a different thing. And so that's where even no matter how rebellious you are, I absolutely understand working with a label to try to get that distribution to your fans because ultimately most bands that we have in the goth genre, we are really fucking lucky, y'all, because our bands, most, not all, there's dicks everywhere, as proved by Malik's patch, but most bands in our genre want to connect with the fans. That's one of the things that really keeps them going. They're not in it for money. If they were, they wouldn't be playing goth music. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's true of
Yeah.
like a lot of like the labels, like Secret Sin Records. Do it for the love of everything, not to make money.
Yeah. Yeah, they all have Joe jobs, don't they?
Yeah.
Them and all their artists have Joe jobs.
Yeah.
And
Especially
most musicians,
that records that you just mentioned, they all have jobs and they do it just for the love of the music, you know, and that's
right.
it.
And most musicians I've talked to, which is it's kind of stacking up at this point, very few of them make their living off of just music. And the ones that actually are able to, you'll see a lot of credits for mixing or mastering for other bands as well, or they have a label.
Right.
Because just performing, you have to perform live, you have to sell your t-shirts and all that. There is no way, unless you're going to perform live, that you have a chance at making a living at this. It's painful to watch somebody try to make a living on music. And I don't begrudge anybody making a living off their art. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But even the labels are idealistic until they start to get a little bit slick. And as I can think of like 3 or 4 labels that I'm like, yep, they're going that way. But I don't know. I feel like we're kind of lucky because we're seeing this almost renaissance of goth genre, which includes Deathrock, where we're seeing a lot of stuff happen. We're seeing a lot of shit. I mean, honestly, we're seeing a lot of unoriginal shit. But in the middle of all that, if you keep listening, you're going to find those gems, and you're going to find people who are really working for this scene. For the love of the scene. I'm sorry, I mean for the love of the scene, knowing that the return is not going to be much. I might say OU on that one.
We have a return? That's news to me.
You have a return of 4,000 people sending you stuff going, can you review this? I'll give you a free album. And you're like, no.
Oh my God.
That happens to me on my Skullgirdle channel, y'all, and it can't be anywhere near as much. And I was like, if I don't like it, I'm not going to review it. But I'm not a review channel. But yeah, I have.
Well, it also comes down to time.
Bitchy. Exactly. So for me personally, on my channel, I'm not going to spend my time on shit I don't like. Obscura Undead has a different aim than the old Skullgirdle channel.
Ye old Skullgirdle.
Ye old Skullgirdle rip. But yeah, this has been a good discussion for me because I need to do a video talking about all the shit I'm listening to. I need to do them in regards to the Bandcamp. And quite honestly, I just didn't even realize that some of the shit I listen to is Deathrock.
Really?
Oh God, I'm so ignorant. I'm so fucking ignorant.
It's fine, but if you like it, then support it. You know, that's it.
Okay.
You know what?
I want to
get good.
I want to get everyone's opinion. Deathrock, 1 word or 2?
1.
1.
1.
It's 1 word.
I get so like it irks me when I see it spelled with 2 words, and I'm like, why? Why?
If you look at the place that I go for the standard, to me personally, the standard is the LA scene because that's where it was born. And when you see the crossbones and it says Deathrock is 1 word, good enough for me. Also, Jacques actually added that the advantage of bands is often that the label does part of the job. They do the shipping, they do all the boring menial shit. That way our artists can just fucking create. Imagine.
I hope we can get labeled. Right, Assie?
I mean, that'd be nice. I'm thinking that even if we can't like go through some of our really awesome label friends, wink. So maybe I can just like pull from like Obscura Undead coffers to print CDs and shit.
I mean,
I would just like it known now that I am not part of whatever this fucking band is, because please tell us the name of your band and that you have one.
No, because we're in the middle of a very deep and maybe hurtful discussion about changing the name of our band.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But I got my bass.
No. I mean, that ain't gonna change, baby. You know. So Um, we might change it before we actually come out, but it's gonna be Deathrock, um, post punk with a lot of post punk.
With your hi-hats.
Yes, bring that hi hats in.
Oh, and Bruce, we gotta get with you because we need to get some Obscura Undead decals. So we actually need to get that like rolled out. So thank you for saying something in the chat.
Right. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, if you need weird fucking sounds to sample, I can pull that shit off for you. As long as you want it to sound like something otherworldly and oddly human.
Bethrazah says, does a band have to have guitar to be Deathrock?
Yeah. I think yeah.
What does it say there? Oh my god, Jack!
Could you just call yourself the Jizz Masters? You could just change your
No.
name to Jizz Masters.
No, that was something else. That says they're love stains. That's a cover we're gonna do. And
So
the
does a band
chat
have to
can
have
vote
guitar to
yes,
be
can
Deathrock?
vote
I say no.
Sorry.
I say yes, but Jacques is disagreeing with something, and I'm trying to make sure. Cinema Strange has little guitar in it. Okay, see, that's what ignorant lady says. Is yeah, you have to have guitar because that's the sound I hear.
Well, Bethrazov gave the example of skeletal bats, and that's the exact example I would have given.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're having this discussion. Is because ignoramus over here, who doesn't know anything.
Well, see, this is a controversial question.
Oh, it is. How come?
Because
Jacques
a lot of
says
people
no.
say yes, it has to have guitar.
Jacques says Cinema Strange has very little guitar in it, and Cinema Strange is one of the death rock bands I love. So, I mean, I don't even know what I fucking listen to at this point. But yeah, that's what I said. I think it might be helpful to have the ignorant on because I don't know enough about death rock. I have to be told something's death rock for the most part.
So can anybody in the chat can guess who is the cover we're doing? Who is the band we're covering? I just give you the name of the song, so it won't be hard.
We are working on a cover of a song, but in Spanish.
Well, that's embarrassing. That's fucking embarrassing, y'all.
Love Stains, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the band we're covering?
I'm not saying it.
I wanna say no. No.
But I almost bought it today.
Yeah. Shut up.
Now I have to buy it.
There we go. Yes. Thank you.
Right. Well, Bethrazov is what I would call a serious goth genre fan.
Oh my gosh, when Bethrazov can like identify a band and a song within like the first 3 bars, and I'm just thinking like, how the fuck did you get this? I know.
Yes, and how is Bethrazov like this without being a DJ?
Bethrazov used to be a DJ.
Oh, god damn it! Because I wind up talking to so many DJs, y'all. I feel like a fucking doorknob in all these discussions. I'm like, I'll just sit here. I better put on some good makeup so I look good.
What happened today? I'm sorry, that was mean.
I'm reading the chat.
I had a presentation at work, so I had a long day, and also I was in a.
Thank you all for guessing the band.
Yeah, I was in a large amount of pain.
It's gonna be in Spanish.
Butthead.
It's gonna be in Spanish, just like Romeo's Distress by the band we mentioned before, La Reina de los Condenados. So it is going to be in Spanish. It's pretty much the same song, sort of, but in Spanish. So get ready.
Jacques says, I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, did he actually said that? Oh,
yes,
no, I'm making things up. No.
Put me in this spot.
So you know, y'all,
when it's done.
self-proclaimed as I'll say Jacques has self-proclaimed as a cranky person who doesn't deal well with people.
Yeah.
Probably giving away secrets that every fucking musician I've ever talked to says. It's very interesting to me how just talking to someone if they are a person who matters makes people feel more comfortable and willing to talk to you. So again, not even knowing shit because Jacques has been sweet as pie to me who doesn't know shit. Y'all, when you go to shows, I can't say it enough. If you feel really good about the show, if you feel great about this band, if you're excited, tell them. If
Yes.
you can, I mean, it takes every fucking thing I have in the whole world to walk up to a band. I can't even believe I did it with wingtips while sober because I have it's a form of agoraphobia that you're terrified of crowds. I have a real problem with crowds, a real big problem with crowds. And so going through a bar that was full of people to tell them that they did a great show and they were just very sweet about it. So that's a lot of the reason that
Did you say wingtips?
our genre, yeah, that was wingtips that time.
Hmm.
Um, our genre, yeah. I was talking to Vincent, and then Hannah walked up, and Hannah's sugar and spice.
Hmm.
But I know. Anyway, so
Cool.
when I talked to Twin Tribes, they were, you know how nice those guys are.
Yeah.
Bellwether Syndicate. I mean, if you've talked to Sarah Rose, also known as Scary Lady Sarah, she is possibly one of the very nicest, sweetest, cutest. She's the cutest goth I've ever met.
I really like William. He's so nice.
Oh, y'all, they are both just incredible people. And you know, we're looking at people that we admire greatly. Just let them know. Let them know that you like their show. Strike up a conversation because I promise you, in 95%, because of course there's going to be egotistical dicks somewhere, and you're going to run into them if you do this all the time. But 95% of the time, they're going to be so grateful that you came up to them and said something. They not only will treat you like a person with feelings and thoughts, but they'll be grateful that you enjoyed the show. And you'll find out how much humility is actually within the people that you think they're just this huge thing and they must have a huge ego, and that's just not true.
Also,
People,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
they're my point is that they're people, and we are in a place where, especially with the smaller bands, because to me, Virgin and Veil is not a small band. It's not like the local band I go see with 5 people at the show, but they are highly accessible to us, and it is an even exchange, and they understand that, and we should too. Next.
Yeah. Also, if you can, please buy something from them. If you can, do it. Support the band on Bandcamp or in the booth. If they have something selling like shirt or
Oh yeah,
an album
yeah.
or something, support them because that's very important for them to keep making music for us.
Right, right.
And that's it.
Because
Everything
traveling is
everything's
expensive.
called Girl said.
Right, traveling is expensive. LPs, I I'm not just not gonna. I don't even know how much that really costs. I know a number I've been given that I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" To buy the album, the LP. It's great that they sell out. It is so expensive to try to bring some of that stuff to y'all. I'm not trying to say buy the album, buy the album, buy the album, but you know what? Your streaming platforms do make a difference. If you stream on Bandcamp, that's absolutely number one. Amazingly enough, as shitty as it is, Spotify is the second best. As Bandcamp, Amazon, Spotify. YouTube is actually the worst. But YouTube can help get them out there if you just leave it on play. Y'all ever go to a playlist and just start it? I start a playlist and leave my house because I have YouTube Red, so it gets a little bit more weight. And all I'm trying to do when I do that is make it more popular, so it shows up for other people.
So that's funny because
Yeah.
I can think of so much Deathrock that is only available on YouTube because
Right.
it's so obscure
Sadly.
or so old
Sadly,
that
yes.
Yes.
True.
you just can't find it.
Yeah, that's true. I actually looked up something today that I could find in no place that I could afford. I found an album for $125 for a fucking
What
CD.
was it, Michelle?
It was Phadia, Phaida, and it was fucking kick ass. And I have to say that that's Jacques from Virgin and Veiled turned me and Azzy onto that band. Azzy probably heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
don't.
actually were talking about it um today.
Well, they are worth about 30,000 listens because that is a kick-ass band.
And Madame Edwarda from Japan as well. Another fantastic band. Malik, didn't we
Right,
recently
because a
find
lot
another
of
Japanese
people.
goth band?
Punk, it's punk.
It is.
Parálisis Permanente is punk with a hint of goth in it, but
Oh,
it's
paralysis.
it's
Oh,
just
really?
punk. It's just punk. No, don't. I mean,
They're La Movida.
You're right, but
exactly. They're from La Movida, so they came from that new wave era and everything.
okay, that's fair.
So
But
no, it's
it's
punk.
funny. I was talking to Carfax from Last Dusk, and he said that their goth nights in Costa Rica generally open up with paralysis permanente.
Yes, I mean it has goth like influence, of course,
Right, right.
and you can see that in Eduardo Benavente, who is the lead singer. It was the lead singer. Rest in peace.
Hmm.
Um, he he had like the aesthetic and everything, on stage, and that's one thing. But in their sound, and if you ask like Ana Curra, who was the keyboardist in the time, she would immediately tell you we were punks. We came from the punk scene, and we joined La Movida. That's what it was called back then. That is why I can't stress this enough, and some of you were right when you said, is Deathrock closer to the old goth movement? Yes, it is closer because it takes all the punk influence
Right,
and bring it into the darker side. So it is.
right, right. It's a natural progression, I think, from punk because punk is, if you think about what is it, the stages of grieving, it's kind of like punk is like the anger part of it, and then you start to accept it with some of the more goth genres, and it just kind of makes sense. So I think that I like that Death Rock seems to be kind of keeping that spirit alive of the more boisterous part of goth because people often think that we're just depressed and sad and all we talk about is fucking vampires because I swear to you, if I see one more
Actually,
person sporting fangs, I'm gonna be like, oh, please kill me. Fangs and ears, y'all. Fangs and ears. I'm like, ah. But at the same time, we have all these genre generally accepted. There's like six, but there's actually like 50 because everything is so splintered down to figure out exactly what it is. But I think it all adds together, and I think that regardless of what some people may think, death rock still influences bands throughout the goth genre, and I hope it does. I really hope it
yeah,
does because that boisterous spirit of we are going to say what we mean, and we are watching you, motherfucker, is what I really feel like is happening a lot of times with a cute little sense of humor.
I don't know, are the Death Rockers
Zombie.
going to be the first ones to pick a fight at the goth club if a Nazi shows up?
what?
Yeah, and I'll be the person standing right behind the death rockers ready to back them up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The death rockers are the ones that are going to.
Asses.
um,
Oh, yeah, Beth Rosoff, fangs are fine. They're fine,
she
but I
says
want to
that.
see other influences as well. I want to see more than vampire influences because vampire a lot of times is a lot of what we're known for in not I
Uh,
can't say just the mainstream. I say inside of goth all the time. And vampires are fantastic. I fucking love them, but I want to see the other stuff too. I want to see all of it together.
yeah. I think I don't wanna say. Oh my God! But I think. Asi, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Cause I don't want to. You know. I think. What is it? Gangue Morcego. I think they did a song called Lycanthropy or Lycanthropia or something like that. No, they was it not?
Was
Maybe
that Miguel and
maybe it
the
wasn't
Living
them.
Dead?
But anyway, who was it? Who?
Miguel and the Living Dead, because they did a song called Lycanthropy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Miguel and the Living Dead. Okay, so they did a song. It lycanthropia is what you call a werewolf. You know, that's what
Yeah,
it is.
lycanthropic,
You know,
lycanthropy. Yeah.
so it is something that we can use to. We can
I
like
mean,
zombies.
I think that werewolves might be more punk because their clothes are always ripped up.
Right. Shaker is saying you'd think there'd be a
No,
big zombie influence.
that was very.
I mean, I can think of a band called Naughty Zombie.
Deathrock.
Okay, I like the idea of Naughty Zombie.
Naughty Zombies. They were punk death rock ish.
Jacques says, I'm gonna leave soon. It's over 5 a.m. here. Yeah, we really
Yeah,
appreciate you hanging
let's
out for this. I know it was
let's all
weird, but
let's all
Right,
call it for
right.
tonight because it's
Yeah.
10. I gotta work tomorrow.
Oh, it is. It's after 10 for you guys. I forget because it's only 9:20. And as usual, I always have the bladder calling because I'm old. No, it's not because I'm old, it's just 'cause I'm me. Okay, so I just told everybody Miguel and the Living Dead. I'm trying to, Malik, I'm trying to write down your band genre or your band names as we go. I'm sure I typed them wrong because, as always, at the end of the night, I've
No,
had like
that's
5 drinks equivalent in my little quart.
no, but that's right. That's right. That's how it's spelled. Miguel and the Living Dead. Yeah, that's it.
Well, that'd be embarrassing if I couldn't spell fucking Miguel. I used to live in New Mexico, Texas,
so
Southwest.
so y'all, if you would like and if you are interested, you can go to Spotify and search up Obscura Undead and look at mine and Malik's playlists from our virtual nightclub that we run on Friday nights.
Right.
And it's not all death rock, but there tends to be a fair amount mixed into both of our sets.
It's good. It's good. Actually, I have to say, as a listener who is not a fucking DJ, who is not necessarily educated, both y'all play a lot of really good music that I like quite a bit. It sounds good. Your flow is good. Your flow is good. The Obscura Undead
Thank you.
DJs are
Appreciate it.
quite good. And soon to be all on Twitch or Mixcloud, so goodbye Facebook.
Yes.
Soon to be all on Twitch because we tried Mixcloud. We're trying to do it right. We're trying to do it legally, but the platform has so many fucking issues, and it's been rough for the user, not just not just the DJs.
No, Facebook sucks. I can't watch you guys at all on my phone. I can't even cast you to my TV on Twitch.
Yeah.
I cast you to my TV. I'm in the chat. It's good. I go between the two. I can go back and forth. It's fantastic. On my phone, cast to my TV so I can see it in my whole living room.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have to watch
that
you on my
people on
laptop.
Mixcloud could not get into it on mobile, and that's a really good reason to move off of it. It's just it doesn't have the functionality that we need.
Yep. Right. And so for the Obscura Undead, y'all, during the sequester, I call it the sequester, which is the quarantine, whatever, the stay-at-home order, which we should all be following so we can continue to wait for the vaccine. Anyway, they have, how many DJs do y'all have this weekend?
This week we have, so usually we have 5 plus a guest, but this week we're going to be having 4. We're trying to, people are, need breaks because this shit's a lot of work.
Because we stay at home, and yet staying at home can still prey on your mind, and you just need to do nothing sometimes. So Friday nights is Obscura Undead. Friday night at what time?
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is GMT minus 4, I think.
5.
Whatever.
GMT minus 5. So 9 p.m. is going to be 2 a.m. GMT time. It's 8 p.m. Central U.S. time, and that makes it 6 p.m. California time.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
And you're going to see several different things. Well, I have to promote this now because it's very important to me.
I have a hard time with time, so.
The Obscura Undead, you can go back and forth between different sites, and they generally raise money. What's the venue this week? Do you have a venue?
We do not. We were thinking about switching it over to a tip jar system this week instead of raising donations for a specific place because there are a lot of places reopening and Yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. is reopening. I mean, we're seeing a spike in infections, but we're going to reopen anyway.
Yay.
So we're probably going to have to go back into some quarantine and sequester. But they're raising money, and that money will generally go to the running of OU if that's where it goes, or it'll go to whatever venue that they support. You can buy them shots and help them towards their descent into alcoholism.
Yeah, we're pretty much well and good there, so.
Yeah, just like a lot of places. Okay, so and it's Twitch. I think
Yeah, we're all
Azzy,
gonna
are
be
you
on
going?
Twitch.
You're going to be on Twitch. I have to say, as a person who watches DJs, Twitch is fucking amazing, y'all. For everybody I've seen on Twitch, I watched the Pirate Twins on Twitch. I watched Scary Lady Sarah and Philly Peroxide on Twitch. It was fantastic. I've watched Dark Dark Energy MLPS, Andy Harriman. Have you all seen Andy Harriman spin?
From what'd she do? Syntheside? Yeah.
From Syntheside. She is fantastic. She is a very, very accomplished DJ. I
Oh,
just
she's
have
very
to say
talented.
that Twitch has been fantastic. So watching everybody on Twitch, I'm pretty excited to see you guys tomorrow night on Twitch.
Tomorrow night on Twitch. Yep.
Right. And Twitch casts very easily to your fancy ass TV. Well, mine's not as fancy as it used to be.
Our guest DJ for next week is going to be DJ Rick Betts.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
And
Rick
then
Betts
the
kicks
week
ass.
after that is hopefully going to be DJ Sinus.
Fuck yeah.
And then I need to keep
Yes,
scheduling.
please.
Well, I was trying to have DJ Sinus on for this week, but we wouldn't have been able to get enough promo in, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. So also guest DJs, and I seriously hope that not to this level, because we all need to go support our goth nights if we can. We can't all. We know that sometimes we have a lot of blocks to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to have some of it still stay online because y'all are kicking ass taking names.
We are going to continue to do the virtual nightclub just on a much less frequent basis once everything opens back up and goes back to normal.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot.
Simply
of work.
because it's a lot of work, and we've found that we might be able to use this as a platform to raise money to actually pay our DJs, because our DJs don't get paid for live gigs.
Sadly.
Nope.
And
Yeah,
people in the scene complain about,
You sent us. Sorry. People in the scene complain.
No, I mean they say like, they say a lot of stuff. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. But the thing is, we're not getting paid, and we do it for the love of the music and the scene and everything. To put a safe space for someone to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't get it like that. So there's a way we need to buy new music and stuff like that.
Because that all comes out of pocket.
I mean, most
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
comes from
DJs
our pocket.
And
Yes.
sometimes music gets given
Right.
to us by bands, but for the most part, it completely
true.
comes out of pocket.
There are usually strings with bands. If they're not just hoping for you to play it, with Obscura Undead especially, they're hoping to have it reviewed. They're hoping to get promotion.
Yeah.
They're not giving it to you
and
because
that's
they're
fine.
like, oh my god, I made extra baked goods. Here's some biscuits. No, they're giving it to you so you can play it, and it's an even exchange.
Right, although we don't always play everything. But anyway,
Right,
yes,
that's-
we're going to continue
Very
these
few.
because we also want to continue, hopefully from the generosity of like everybody being able to pay our DJs. Also, we really want to, once this is all over, throw a Deathrock Fest in Florida.
Oh my god.
Like an actual
Very
Deathrock
nice.
Fest.
Would that be the second one in the country?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think there's a small one in LA. I don't know how big it is.
Well, I mean, if there are ones that incorporate a lot of death rock, but aren't pure death rock. But whatever. But we would love to have a Deathrock Fest. And so being able to use some of the money that we generate through, like, these sorts of means, through, like, the live streams, would really be amazing towards, like, helping us achieve, like, goals like that, which would be so much fun.
Yeah, if any of you can support us in any mean, we really appreciate us, because it will help us to continue putting out there.
Yeah, we're not black holes.
The music that we love, and supporting the scene that we love. So we really thank you all for that.
Yeah, for sure. Because all of the money we make, we don't do it to make money. Like, everything goes back into projects that benefit the scene, creators within our scene, musicians, nothing.
Right, like I said, even exchange. It's an even exchange. And y'all, if you're somehow lucky enough to go to Tampa, I assume that Absolution Fest we know for sure. If we can pull off a Deathrock, that'd be fucking amazing. Walk up to Obscura Undead people and say hi. You've seen their faces all fucking over YouTube, all over Facebook. Walk up and say hi. Even if you're kind of scared and you think those people are assholes, they're not going to talk to me, I promise you they will.
Oh, and I'm sure that everyone will say the exact same thing that everyone fucking says to me when they talk to me. You're friendlier than I thought you'd be. And I'm like, what kind of comment is that? Thank you?
It's a defensive comment, and people just, when you have resting bitch face, as I have, you can see my frown lines and shit like that. That kind of happens, that we all have a lot of anxiety. We're scared of people that we don't know. And we're worried that you're going to find out that we're just a fucking normal ass person who doesn't know shit. Guess what? We all have that. We all have imposter syndrome. We all feel like somebody's going to find out that we don't really know what we're fucking doing. So you know what? One thing that I do is I call it immersion therapy, where I do shit that scares the piss out of me. And I just do it anyway. It's terrifying, and sometimes you get slapped down, but sometimes you won't.
Yeah, you might find it intimidating, though, if I stare at you with my soul-boring eyes.
Well, if you're talking to a DJ behind the booth, they may not be able to hear you. If they just stare at you, they can't hear you. With band members, sometimes 50 people want their attention, and, they're people. Anyway, so let's end this before the usual alarm clock, which is old Michelle peeing her pants. And I finished all my drinks, so now I'm kind of drunk.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was the goal because of my day of pain. Now I'm not feeling so bad. Anyway, so hey, what do we say? Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you. Goodbye.
Yes,
right,
and
Obscura Undead.
Obscura Undead.
Yeah, when you like the video, it's interaction. If you dislike it, it's interaction too, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, comment. The comments mean the world to the people on YouTube. God, are we getting sappy? We gotta stop. You gotta cut this.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, I'm the one who has to stop it.
Yeah, it's not me.
Shit, how do I stop it?
Ah!
Oh, fuck, I actually don't know how to stop it.
Stop the stream. It's on the right-hand side. It's the second one down. Just click that sucker. It's going to stop.
Nope, it's
then
not
you got
that.
a yes in the middle?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's either that or I'm going to leave.
Oh, I know how to do this.
Cut it.